Abdul, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a
It's
pleasure. It's been a long time since we met.
well, it is. It has been like around, I don't know, 8 years.
Hey,
Eight
yeah,
years, right?
yeah, exactly. Listen, I was wondering, like a lot of people think about HR as being just recruitment, or they think of it as processing forms. But obviously, you run your own HR business. So would you like to just tell me a little bit about what you actually do in that?
I'm an entrepreneur and a researcher as well. I run a consulting business where I help companies hire the right people. I manage teams from different countries and I follow the rules around immigration and employees' rights. So every country has its own rules. They have their own criteria to hire people. They need a certain, targeted occupations.
Yeah,
So this is where I come at. At the same time, I'm doing a PhD where, I created a model that I introduced in the first publication that we did together,
yes,
the dynamic synergy model.
yes,
It has, the goal is to help businesses combine ethics, HR, immigration law, AI, and sustainability. So my goal is to help companies grow while being fair,
yeah,
inclusive, and future ready, let's say.
yeah. And it's interesting because the whole area of immigration and human resources is incredibly complex because every country, as you said, has their own requirements. Um,
100%.
yeah. So you mentioned AI there. So is that something you're using yourself or just looking to the future?
AI has been, over the years, AI was just a concept. Now it's like a must-have. It's like a tool that is integrating in every field. We never thought of, let's say, law intersecting with technology. Now we have, in pretty much every uni, bachelor's degrees and master's degrees of AI and law at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So in immigration per se, they're using AI to filter down, applicants, and unfortunately, the software itself is making the decision into
Yeah.
either accepting, foreigners or not, and a lot of times it's doing mistakes.
Yeah.
So it should be well monitored. So am I using it myself? Yes, I am, but not to, in everything because we
Not to
can't.
replace the humans.
Well, 100%.
Look, I just wanted to ask, like you're running your own business like myself, so just wondering more sort of what it's like for you. I mean, you're obviously in Canada, so what's it like running your own business?
It's exciting, but challenging
Yeah,
a lot.
it's a good
It's very
summary.
challenging, actually. You have to make big decisions, and sometimes, like, you're not always right. So you have, to handle your losses
Yeah,
and live with them and learn from your mistakes and move forward. You have to be responsible when things go wrong.
yeah,
And as I said, we're humans. We're not perfect. For me, some days I'm doing hiring, some days I'm managing clients, some days I'm solving legal problems, immigration ones, checking spreadsheets, doing my own finances all at once. So it's it's challenging, especially like, I'm not, let's say, I'm not a really big firm. I'm a one man firm, like, working by myself.
yeah.
I enjoy it, but it's different from having a big team. Hopefully, in the future, I might expand, but for now, I'm happy with the outcome.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, I would have to say I had a similar experience in that you find yourself wearing a bunch of different hats. There's no one else to do the work. So you're the marketing, you're the finance, you're the sales, you're the, delivery.
True.
And the areas you work in depend on what the client asks for. So in a sense, like as long as it's not outside of your expertise, you can be doing anything, and different things even on the same day. So it is challenging, I think. So just out of interest, you mentioned finance there. How do you generally manage your own finance? Do you have like a bookkeeper? Do you use Excel or Google Sheets? Like how do you sort of keep a track of that?
In Canada, it's different than Australia. Like the taxing system is different. Every province has its own taxing systems.
Okay.
And it's quite challenging. So I manage my finances using Google Sheets, and we have an accounting software called QuickBooks, which is easy
Yeah.
to use. But in the end, when we have to file our taxes, I'm using an accounting firm.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
It's easier, and at the same time, you have a peace of mind that you didn't do a mistake.
And I think the other thing too is that, as people who are interested in using, building people's expertise, understanding people's expertise, it would be silly if we didn't use the expertise of the people who understand accounting, at that crucial time in the business. So just out of interest, how did you end up working in human resources in the first place?
I I worked for 2 years, in my early career in Ghana, in Accra. During these 2 years, I found a lot of challenges. Like when uh, Accra, Ghana is like a chaotic environment. It's hard to cope. It's like the theory of chaos that you guys taught us at uni. So, like a lot of obstacles that we faced, and I've reached a certain wall where I didn't know how to react. And I we didn't have an HR department, and there's where I found the need to have an HR department, but I didn't know how to advise them,
Yeah.
what to do, how to deal with those challenges. And I started researching, a lot of online programs, and I didn't find any online programs that could be useful because they all required to have a certain amount of years of experience.
Yeah.
So I found the one at WSU, Western Sydney University. I enrolled in, and it was an MBA specialized in HR. Uh, I was tossing between HR and marketing because I love both.
Yes.
But for me, HR is the area that won't die. Like in a law firm in a big law firm you have an HR department. In an engineering firm you have an HR department. IT firm you have an HR department. Even in government you have an HR department.
Yeah.
So it's everywhere. It's everything, and
Yeah.
it needs to be a department that needs to be ongoing, well maintained, ethically, driven and maintained. So I believe that my choice was the right one, but it was quite a challenging one.
Yeah.
HR is very challenging.
It sure is. And as you say, like you'd hope that no matter what happens, because people are always involved in every industry, as you say, in government and not-for-profits, in the private sector, personal family businesses, etc. There's always people involved. So hopefully there'll always be a need for someone to help with the people advice.
Of course, and after all these years, I found that your lectures, as well like your other fellow comrades at WSU, they were quite insightful because we used our teachings into practice. I mean, we didn't feel it back then, like
No.
we didn't see the advantage of it back then, but
Yeah.
now that I think about it, we were on a whole different level in comparison with others who didn't have that.
So, in terms of general advice, like if you were talking maybe to a small business owner who's just starting to expand and they haven't really thought about people management as such, because up until now they've kind of got along with, family, friends, whatever. What sort of advice would you say to someone who's just setting up their business, sort of general HR advice about thinking about getting getting their sort of HR practice involved, set up, even if they're doing it themselves initially, like what sort of advice would you give to a small business?
In terms of having a small business in general, I think it's quite challenging and powerful. It could be
Yeah,
scary as well. I
yeah,
mean,
sure.
the word is small, but it's really not small when you're by yourself, right? Like
Yeah,
you're facing a lot of things, you're interacting with bigger sharks in the field, and you have to survive. So, and especially if it's like a fast-paced environment, a lot of decision making to do, a lot of strategical thinking to make, like decisions are really needed in critical times. So it's not easy, but the main thing is to keep up, positive attitude, to build a positive culture from day one. If they want to be into HR, to make sure that hiring is fair and inclusive. That's what we're talking about. Like, don't hire too much on software and AI. Like, you shouldn't rely on it too much. You should understand how things work yourself. You should study. You should keep on studying, keep on learning, keep on reading, keep on researching. A lot of laws are changing. You need to be on track with emerging trends. We need to keep up. We need to keep on educating ourselves. Especially like when you graduate, you think that it's over. But no, the learning is just beginning.
Yeah.
It's not about the degree. It's about, the experience, the life experience itself. It pushes you to keep learning and to read more, to educate yourself more.
Yeah.
Treat your team well if you're having a team, because that team is the one who will help you to expand and grow further. If you're by yourself, that's fine. I think follow the legal rules, especially around taxes and immigration. In my case,
Yeah, that's right.
um,
I think that's a good point you make. I don't know if this is correct, but my understanding of some of the martial arts, thinking of Taekwondo, is that everyone sort of thinks, "Wow, I got to the black belt," but the black belt just means you're proficient to now, start learning properly. And I think education's a bit like that. Like we get the piece of paper, but then we just start our journey of lifelong learning.
so I'm a martial artist myself. I
Oh,
have
cool.
a three dan black belt Kyokushin. So I can tell you this: I've reached a level where I'm good enough to know that I'm not good.
Yeah, that's
It makes
right.
sense.
Yeah, it does.
Like
Yeah,
you're strong. There will always be someone who's willing to work harder to train stronger than you, and it will become eventually stronger and more experienced. So this is what I'm saying. Like I advise everybody to keep on learning, to keep on reading. So this is why when you presented me with the opportunity to contribute to your book, it it pushed me, like, to read and to research more, and it was quite challenging actually. It took me
yeah,
months to finish it, and it was an amazing experience.
yeah,
And you know what I was afraid of? Thinking about the target audience.
yeah,
It will be academics,
yeah, exactly.
critics who will actually critic what we were going to write. So
Yeah, yeah,
it was quite scary, challenging at the same time. It wasn't easy.
no,
One single chapter took me like 6 or 7 months. So it was an opportunity for me to have this passion again, to read again, yeah, like,
yeah,
to expand again, because you get caught up at some point in your life where you have to work and work and work, and
yeah,
you forget about doing other stuff.
yeah.
It was actually fun.
That's
Yes,
great.
scary, but fun at the same time.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah, I think that there's a few points that you're making there which I think are really, really valuable. The first thing is the pressure we put on ourselves. It's like, well, who's going to be reading this? And so we're like wanting to do our best and, etc. And I think that's important. That's part of how we can push ourselves to do better. But I think the other thing too is that, well, first of all, if we had to do a degree and we've been spent a lot of time reading and a lot of time researching, we just feel like we need a break. And so it can be good to get back into that again because all these ideas are kind of constantly changing, as you said. So sometimes, that push to actually read something again is like, oh, yeah, I actually quite like reading about the latest research on something or other, and it's helpful for me in my daily
Of
work. So,
course.
yeah,
No, no, no. I couldn't agree more. And I'll tell you what, I've never imagined myself giving a lecture before. Like, I always, I mean, I still think that your job is one of the most difficult job in the world. Like, to get this message, to get someone to understand what you're saying. Like in your class, it was more of a debate. It was never a one-sided opinion. And I love that about it.
oh, that's great to hear. I mean, I think one of the things that's always interested me is like trying to put the idea out in the middle and hear everybody's perspective. And I think that that's a very rich learning environment for all of us. Like whenever we're kind of shutting off, from my perspective, whenever we're shutting off a perspective and not considering it from the point of view of the people that hold it, we're kind of losing something. So yeah, I really like hearing that you enjoyed that aspect of debate.
I did.
That's
You let everybody contribute. That was amazing from your part. It was really, uh, it shows the respect that you have towards your students, which equals the respect that they have for you.
yeah.
And that's quite impressive, actually. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I think that this is what I try to when I'm training people in HR in the more practical training rather than the university training. What I try and communicate is that actually you get back whatever you give. So it kind of feels counterintuitive in some ways, but what I've been grateful for is how much the students have, former students who are now, highly qualified professionals in their own right. To maintain that contact for me is a fantastic thing. And I kind of think that if we have the attitude of how do we bring whoever the person in front of us is along further in their own career, that may not pay off immediately, but it pays off in the long run. And certainly for me, actually what I want to do in life. It's like, as you were saying, like the ethics are, how can I actually help other people to improve or to get better or to develop or to progress or to, increase in their career or their prospects. To me, that's what it's all about. Is there anything that you wanted to just throw in as a last piece of advice to anyone who's looking to start their own business, just thinking about it and kind of they haven't done anything yet? What would you do to prepare? Any ideas?
I would tell them what I thought about it myself when I wanted to start. First of all, don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to fail. If you don't start, if you don't start now, you will never start later. Like
Yeah.
it's like, just take a step forward. Start with a strong purpose. Ask yourself, what problem am I solving? Like, who my target audience is, what kind of service I want to do, like, what is the message that I want to deliver through my work, and why does this business matter? And then, it all comes together. You'll learn the basics of law, hiring, finance, or you can find someone who can help you. You're never on your own, and that's important to know that nobody can live on their own.
No.
Focus on building a team that reflects your values. Don't be afraid to learn and grow. I personally turned my business experience into research and published work through the opportunity that you gave me, and I'm currently progressing to my PhD. So I would advise anybody who has passion for that and who wants to do something out of themselves to do that, to move forward and never look backward. And if you did a mistake, so what?
None of us are
It's
perfect.
not really about making money,
No.
It's about building something meaningful and responsible for yourself.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed that video. Please check out my website, dominicmclaughlin.com, and check out my free course on businessleaderslab.com.